What's up, guys? Today we're going to be reviewing the Cyelee Ghost, which, as ironic as it is, because typically you can't see a ghost, this is a big ol' optic. But we're just going to be reviewing it. We did some durability testing and just also some accuracy testing, so let's get into it.
So the first thing we're going to talk about is actually the price point, because this one is coming in right there at I think $289.
Yep.
So very similar to what you're going to see like a Holosun 507C at, which I think those are coming in right at like $309. So a little bit cheaper. I'm sure you guys will notice these humps that are over the actual housing itself. Those things were actually very useful.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool. I know.
How come there's scratches on them?
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody may have thrown it out of a deer stand or.
All right, guys. So this gun is clear. We're gonna drop it. This is kind of the test that me and Connor think is the most extreme while still being practical, and that is if the gun were to fall out of a holster while you're climbing up in a deer stand. So we're gonna go ahead and drop it on the Optic.
Something like that.
Rolled it down a hill.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
It's stuck in the ground. Still work. What did you call it? Optic whipping it?
All right, guys. So as you guys know, back in the old Western days, they used to pistol whip people with revolvers. But now with the modern age, we have to know if it'll optic whip somebody.
I think it worked. Still on.
Yeah.
But very impressed with the optic itself. The durability is crazy. We didn't do too crazy of things. We didn't use it as a hammer.
We're trying to be practical.
Yeah, I mean I think we put it through more than most people are going to put it through just on day-to-day use. All right, so they say this thing is fully submersible, so it's fully submersed. Let's see if she works.
Yeah.
But just going through some of the features on it real quick, it does have a battery tray, which praise the Lord, because I'm tired of the Trijicon RMRs that don't have a battery tray. That drives me nuts. So very happy to see that it's similar to Holosun, where it's got that battery tray on the outside, and then it has the buttons on the left side of it. So you just have your up and down for the intensity.
And it is shake awake.
It is shake awake. You have a couple different modes on there. The actual reticle itself is a 2 MOA dot. Then you have a 26 MOA circle, and then you have the 2 MOA dot with the 26 MOA circle. So very similar to what Holosun's doing with theirs.
Yeah.
So I actually really like. We kept it with the 2 MOA dot with the circle around it. So
yes. And I can say I didn't expect to like that.
Yeah.
Because I had never shot with an optic like that. It's normally just been one dot, except for the bigger ones like on AR-15. But I learned to like it a lot because when you're shooting faster with the pistol, you have that big red, circle around it. But then when you wanted to go a little bit further out, you have that tiny dot that you can sit there and put right where you want it to go.
Yeah, and the circle is not too big to the point where you're just covering up everything.
Right.
So it's a very, very shootable reticle that I personally liked too.
I didn't expect to like it, but yeah, it was nice.
I really, because even on the 507C that we have, we typically just keep it on the dot. So I actually really ended up liking it. But as far as the clarity of the dot itself, it was very clear.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much right up there with the quality of Holosun.
Yeah.
I don't think you're really losing anything here.
No.
It was very, very durable. The dot was very clear. The glass was very clear. And oh my goodness, the glass. It's so big, and it's a big circle. So, you know, a lot of the Holosuns, it goes up and just has like a half moon at the top.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a big old circle.
Yeah.
And it was so easy to keep your target in that optic housing. I mean, it was just
it's sort of like an SRO.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. It really makes me want to get some larger optics and put them on some guns that we use as like duty guns, because this optic was just awesome for up close shooting and some distance shooting.
Yeah, so I can honestly say this Ghost Optic, the Cyelee Ghost Optic, really impressed me. I kind of expected it to be more budget and real cheap and all that, but it performed really well, like really, really well. And I'm surprised not a ton of people have them. There's a few videos out there, but these need to be a little bit more popular because it was very durable. We were typically Holosun people.
Yes.
And so, you know, sometimes you want to kind of be a little bit biased and think, oh, it can't be better than a Holosun. But I have no reason to say that I wouldn't trust my life with it. The value's there as far as the money, and they have cheaper options as well. This is one of their more expensive options.
Yeah.
And so we could have gotten a cheaper option, but I was actually very impressed with it.
And we do want to be 100% upfront with you guys. This optic was sent to us by Cyelee.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because one of our viewers actually commented and let us know, hey, you guys, if you guys like Holosun, you ought to check out Cyelee because it's actually a really good budget optic too. And you did not disappoint. You were right. I mean, they're very good, and them sending it to us is going to make no difference in what we say about it. It did make a difference in us wanting to test the durability.
Yes,
so
it's
very. It helped us in that. You know, we were able to not worry so much about it. If we had
spent our own money on it, I would not have dropped it.
Yeah, we wouldn't be smacking. Yeah. He wouldn't be pistol whip or optic whipping a dueling tree target.
Yes.
But
as far as our opinion, it's not
going to change. Yeah. I think they did a really good job. I'm so happy to see an optic company that's not just copying everybody else. Mm-hmm. They went and they thought, okay, Trijicon owns the patent to their little ears that they have. So how can we make ours better? How can we do the same thing but different? And I think they did an excellent job. And me and Joshua, just in doing our drop test and being a little goofy with it, you notice how much that glass is protected. Mm-hmm. Because the glass sits so far inside because you have this extra piece right here on the front. You know, when he racked it up on the tree, the glass never got dirty.
Right.
Other than him sticking it in sand. It never got dirty because you have that whole thing protecting your glass. So even when you're racking, you can put your hand on the front of the optic and your hand never really touches.
It's not going to get
glass.
like fingerprints on it or anything.
So
like
just for that, I really like it because I hate having fingerprints on my optics. It drives me nuts. Yeah. So I really like Joshua said, I was very impressed with it, especially for the price point and coming in less than a Holosun and having pretty much the same exact durability and quality. I think it's very impressive.
Yeah, and honestly, I kind of look forward to testing more of these products
100%.
Because, again, it's just something new that we were impressed with that we didn't expect to be impressed with.
Yeah.
And so whether it's gun or gear or anything like that you don't expect to be good and then it is, it's like, oh,
exciting.
Wow. Yeah, you want to get more and test more. But
we've had, and to be honest with you, when we got this optic, we have tried out on a few different guns the Cyelee Life. Yeah. And we have had issues with more of the Cyelee Life than what do we have, 3 or 4?
They're not consistent. They're not as good as far as the dot itself. Yeah. It kind of flakes off a lot.
I guarantee you the durability is not going to be anywhere near these.
Because we spent our own money on them. You know, we didn't durability test them.
But I mean, I going into this, I was sitting there thinking, oh, this is probably going to be just something like an Amazon kind of product. But I was happily, proven wrong on that. This ended up being a very, very good optic. And we're going to continue to shoot with it and test it and see if there's anything we can do to break this or not. Well, maybe not break it, but anything we can do to get it to fail.
Yeah.
So that we can tell you guys about it. So it will be a continual
maybe
review.
we'll put it on one of Connor's guns before we do like really hard testing.
Yeah. Drag it behind a Ranger or something.
So who would you recommend this to though? Like what do you think this gun is? Goofy bugs. What do you think this? What kind of customer would buy this?
So I'm saying it's in the same boat as Holosun, right? They're both made in China, I think.
Well, I wasn't saying necessarily comparing. Well, I mean, I guess you can.
If I'm going to recommend something, if I'm going to recommend a Holosun to somebody, I would also be recommending this.
Okay.
The only way I see that this is beating out a Holosun is the durability, because I have seen tests done with a Holosun where they're dropping it on the top of the glass, or not the top of the glass, but the top of the body. And there have been fails where, because of the dome shape, it has a lot more stress on the middle of the glass, and they have broken the Holosuns. Now, that's in severe use, what I've seen on the Holosuns. Most of the tests they do, the Holosuns hold up.
Pretty much all optics are going to be holding up to practical use.
Right. So this right here, it's almost like it makes you want to try and destroy it.
Try and break it.
Because there's so much beefiness to it that I really don't know. You'd have to have a very specific hit on the top of this optic for it to bust that glass. So I think this is pretty much, this optic specifically, the one that we have, the Ghost, is perfect for a duty gun, is perfect for a race gun. The size of the glass, the size of the optic, the reticle options that you have. I'm not saying go put this on your carry gun, because I do think it's a little large.
Right.
But put it on your race gun, put it on your duty gun, and just go to town with the thing, and be happy that you only had to spend $289 and not $500 on an RMR.
Yep.
That's what my thought process is, and that's who I'd recommend that optic to.
Yeah, I think you answered the question that I was trying to ask, as far as this is not for concealed carry.
No.
This would stick out quite a bit. So just know what this.
Unless you want to optic whip them, then put it on there.
There you go. But this one's more specific for like a duty or, like he said, competition. But I'm sure that they have more options for more concealed carry.
And they do, yeah.
But this is the one that we're reviewing today, which is the Ghost.
Yeah.
Which, again, like I said at the beginning of the video, is so ironic, because Ghost you can't see, and look how big that is. Don't know where the name came from, but.
And if Cyelee wants to send us some more options so we can test some other optics, send them on, because we love to review some of the more subcompact, because I think that's the market that's more needy right now as far as good optics goes.
How many have we had that failed that were the RMR-C platform? I had one some cheaper optics that we had tested.
Yeah, we've had like two.
Actually failed just by shooting the gun.
Yeah.
Like not even durability testing.
Just in fire.
Yeah.
You're just shooting the gun and the dot will go off.
So, we've pretty much one of the only ones that we've tested that are reliable are those small Holosuns. What are those? The
407K.
Yeah, the 407K.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we've had some where you tighten down the screws and the thing goes off. We've had the one, like you said, where you're shooting and it goes off. So that's kind of where we would like to test some other ones, is getting some more of the subcompact. But that's the review we've got on the Cyelee Ghost. Like I said, very, very impressed with it. If you have any questions about it, let us know down in the comments. If you have any other optics like that one gentleman that let us know, if you have any other optics you'd like to see tested, let us know down in the comments. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share, and we'll catch you next time.